The venue has changed, the conditions has changed, and despite that, India have faced the South African team with utmost aggression. Despite scoring a low-key 202 in the first innings, India would be feeling that they have every chance to script history in South Africa as they inch closer to their first ever series win on South African soil. Hello and welcome to News 9. I am Shubhayan Chakravarti, and to discuss the day one of the second test between India and South Africa, I am joined by Abhishek Paul. Abhishek, 202 is not a very good score, but despite that, India would be feeling they are on top.
Right. I mean that's the new confidence that this Indian team has got. Right. I mean, they have some express fast bowlers, some effective fast bowlers, and 202. It's a low score definitely. But in 2017-18, the tour that India did of South Africa, they scored. I mean, even lesser than that. I think something around 176 or 175, and still they won that test match. So and the way, more importantly, the way Shami and Bumrah, they were bowling, South Africa could easily have been at least 2 to 3 wickets more down. There were some drop chances also. Yep. Pant dropped Peterson towards the end of the day. But I think though the scoreboard might not reflect it, I think India has gained a upper hand.
Absolutely. Let's start with the starting development.
Right.
Virat Kohli was ruled out of the second test. His 99th test, he was ruled out due to a upper back spasm,
right,
which he suffered on the morning, on today's morning, and KL Rahul got the golden opportunity to lead the test team. And mind you, he has led only one first class match so far in his career, and to lead India's test side, it is everyone's dream. And KL Rahul made a good work with his bat, another half century, a very fighting half century. He showed his what quality, what golden form he's going through.
I mean, KL Rahul, he's having the golden period of his career, right? I mean, the chief selector Chetan Sharma officially declared that he is being groomed as the next limited overs captain. Today he made his debut as the India Test captain too. He scored a fighting half century. The way he was leaving those balls, mind you, first match, both Lungi Engidi and Kagiso Rabada, they were playing test match after a long period of time. Today they bowled really well. Marco Jansen, only two test match old, and he was really brilliant with his left arm pace. And the way KL Rahul were leaving the balls, I think that was a sight to behold. And he made a fighting half century, and it's great, right? I mean, after, it's not easy to take the captain's armband in a test match, and he did brilliantly.
Absolutely, and for South Africa, the pacer Duan Oliver was returning, and he made light work of both the out of form Indian batters, Cheteshwar Pujara and Ajinkya Rahane. Pujara scored 3. Ajinkya Rahane registered his first ever golden duck of his test career. Looks very, very tough for Pujara and Rahane going forward.
I mean, somebody mentioned it quite rightly, on Twitter. I was going through the Twitter a few while back. He said that India has only the top order and the lower order. There's just no middle order, and it holds to today also. I mean, both Pujara and Rahane. Pujara scored only 3 today, fell to Oliver. Rahane scored, as you mentioned, a golden duck. Sunil Gavaskar, during his commentary, mentioned that they might be just one innings away from being dropped from the team, and if they are dropped, if any one of them or both of them are dropped, I think there will be no question marks because of the form they have been. Pujara last match also, he could not do really well. Rahane looked like in good nick, he scored a fighting 48 in the first innings in the Centurion Test, but today again golden ball duck. I mean, these are senior players, right? I mean, you expect them to arrest the slide. You don't really expect players like Ravichandran Ashwin. He scored a brilliant 46 today. For them, and even Pant did better than these two seniors. So you expect these seniors to do well, which they have repeatedly failed to do over the last 10, 14 test matches. So I think it's high time that they perform.
Absolutely. For all our viewers, do let us know whether you think Cheteshwar Pujara and Ajinkya Rahane should be given another chance in the third test against South Africa if they fail in the second innings in the ongoing Joburg test. But out of all the batters, of all the people, it was Ravichandran Ashwin who came to the rescue. A brilliant 46 run knock of 50 deliveries. He played with intent. He scored boundaries there. He scored 6 boundaries in his knock. a terrific knock which helped India cross the 200-run mark.
Right. I mean, at one point of time, when Pujara and Rahane fell, and then Hanuma Vihari, I mean, he also fell too. Sorry, Rishabh Pant, he also got out. We were looking at a score below
170, 180. Yeah.
It was only because of those boundaries, that attacking intent that Ravichandran Ashwin showed that we crossed to 200. I think throughout the course of the build-up to this test match, Shardul Thakur was being referred to as the all-rounder. I think Ravichandran Ashwin should be that officially designated all-rounder in this test team.
Absolutely, and not to forget the crucial unbeaten 14-run cameo by Jasprit Bumrah, which ultimately propelled India towards a 202-run knock.
Yeah, and in 1 over he's hit 2 fours and 1 6. I think that was. I think it was Olivier's over that he hit those many runs, and such cameos really help. And even a small lead, but today going at the stumps, India 167 run ahead. South Africa have already lost 1 wicket, so each run counts.
Absolutely, and with all due respect to Jasprit Bumrah's batting quality, he is now India's first player to hit a 6 in the new year 2022.
Wow, that's such a great stat to have.
Which makes a lot of things for his batting and India's batting as well. But let us talk a bit about South Africa's bowling before we go to their batting. Marco Jansen, as you said, 4 wickets, terrific. He looked in groove. He looked in place. He was looking a bit missing in the first test because nervousness, pressure is there. He was replacing Duan Oliver in that playing 11, but with the likes of Rabada and Oliver leading from the front 3 wickets each, Marco Jansen came good and showed why he's backed so highly by the South African board.
Right. I mean, he got both the openers right. I mean, the strength of the Indian Test team, over the last couple of years has been the top order, and to come and get players like Rahul and Mayank Agarwal, he was creating those difficult angles for the batters, and he did really well. He got Rahul, he got Mayank Agarwal, and then he cleaned up Pant too, and he even got Ashwin. So all 4 were crucial wickets, right? Because Ashwin, as we know, he was really hitting the ball, and he provided those breakthroughs. So I think a brilliant day for the young man.
Absolutely, and let's now move to their batting. South Africa ended the day with 35 runs on the board after losing Aiden Markram. Aiden Markram, again, we can call him an official bunny to Mohammed Shami. He was dismissed in the first test by Mohammed Shami, and again a terrific delivery to caught him plumb.
Yeah, I think there are a couple of factors. One is Aiden Markram is not in form. Second, that Shami is bowling. I think he's the bowling in the best phase of his career as far as bowling is concerned. He's getting those movements of the seam, and today also he was getting those movements.
Yeah.
There were a couple of other chances also, which might have fetched him wicket on any other day, but hopefully tomorrow for Indian fans would expect to see more of Mohammed Shami tomorrow.
Absolutely, and skipper Dean Elgar, 11 of 57, he must be feeling very, very lucky. Even I don't know how he survived those spells by Mohammed Shami and Mohammad Siraj as well.
Right. I mean, that's the thing with this South African team, right? I mean, with Quinton de Kock quitting Test cricket, I mean, this South African batting lineup looks even more brittle, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's why 35 for 1 with 9 wickets in hand. Any other team, you would still think that they are not really too far behind. But practically, with the way they performed with the bat in the first Test, I don't know, maybe they're in a big spot. It all depends on how this Peterson and then, of course,
Rassie van der Dussen,
all those guys.
Temba Bavuma is there, yeah.
So if they can perform.
Absolutely, and but before we wrap up the show, India had a big scare with Mohammad Siraj limping off the field, feeling his hamstring. So India might not have Mohammad Siraj on day 2. A big blow.
That's a pretty big blow. I mean, with Shardul Thakur not among the best of forms, though Shardul Thakur doesn't need form. He can just.
He's the partnership breaker.
But I think Siraj is someone, as Sachin, the great Sachin Tendulkar mentioned, whether he is bowling the first over of his day or the 40th over of the day, he bowls with equal intensity. India was going to need that. If he doesn't bowl, it will be a huge blow because he looked really in pain. It was kind of his right hamstring. I hope it's not a pull and he's not out of the Test match, but serious.
Absolutely. South Africa still trail by 167
67
run.
runs.
So do you expect South Africa to take a lead, or India will go with a some sort of lead in the second innings?
I think with the kind of bowling that India did today, right? I mean, I'm not even going by their form. With the kind of bowling that they did today, I think India should get a lead, even if it's a thin margin. India should take the lead. You know, some of the nicks that South Africans were lucky to escape in the morning session, it will be crucial. It will be really tricky for them to escape those. It all depends on Elgar, Peterson, and those two. I mean, the till number 4 and 5, if they can get 2 or 3 overs, I mean, rest of the South African batting, it should not take India too much time to clean things up.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Abhishek, for joining in. It was a fun chat as always. So before we wrap up the show, I would like to give you some sort of insight into what went throughout the day. India batted first, scored 202 runs. KL Rahul scored a half century. Ashwin came up with a handy, very crucial 46-run knock. South Africa came to bat, lost Aiden Markram pretty early to Mohammed Shami. South Africa now trail by 167 runs and will look to bat with some sort of grit and resolution when they take the field on day 2. We will continue to give you all the live coverage from the match between India and South Africa and all the other sports from the sporting world. Thank you so much for watching News 9. For more news and such videos, like, share and subscribe to News 9. Good night.